Hey everybody, I'm Katallina, and today we're here to talk about Gachiakuta Episode 1. Of course, trash can be a lot of things. Old food, worn out clothes, or people. This is a thought from our main character, Rudo, and it jumps right to the heart of what Gachiakuta is all about. This show made me angry. Scathingly, blisteringly angry. Not because it was in any way bad as a story, or through its production. In that regard, I'm 100% on board. But on an emotional level, this was not an easy watch. Gachiakuta is beautifully designed, beautifully animated, and pulls absolutely no punches in examining the way that people dispose of things they consider beneath them or beyond their usefulness. Whether those are things or people. This show had a great opening, showing a wealthy mother chastising her daughter for wanting to hold on to a slightly damaged stuffed animal. Wouldn't she rather have a shiny new one? There is a level where someone can go too far with holding on to stuff. There's no need to keep every candy wrapper and Amazon parcel box that comes into the mail. But to see generally useful things being so carelessly discarded or destroyed is annoying enough. Seeing people be viewed as interchangeable with garbage based on their social standing is infuriating. But it's not something that's exclusive to the realm of stories, nor is it something that's exclusive to any one class or ideology of people. This kind of degradation of life can happen at any time or for virtually any reason. Generations blame each other for their circumstances or accuse each other of being lazy, entitled, or listless. People make up excuses about why other people think things that the person making a reason for does not understand, rather than having the gumption to learn the truth or have the willingness to listen to other people about it. New technologies come forward at the speed of light, making existing things obsolete and causing them to be discarded. And in many cases, the extent of a person's worth to another person, unless they've taken time to know them for some reason, boils down to a simple question of, what can you do for me? With hands that are charred black, which he hides behind a pair of dingy, beat-up gloves, our main character, Rudo, undoubtedly knows what it's like to be on the receiving end of this kind of disdain. While my own hands are not exactly like his, and thank goodness, cause that looks really painful. I was born with cerebral palsy. My right elbow, wrist, and fingers are disfigured. I can tell you from personal experience that when something does not conform to what people understand, a person's humanity can be stripped away by fear as easily as paint is stripped by turpentine. It's bad enough when this happens while meeting strangers, but it can get a lot more ugly and leave a wound that runs far more deep when something happens to cause a rift between friends. Rudo is a trash collector, someone from the city's poorer district, the tribes, who goes and gathers things that have been discarded by the wealthier citizens. One of the first things about this that caught my eye right away is the ferocity these people had about making sure other people could not use their garbage. This really leans into what makes envy so much worse than jealousy. Jealousy is when you want something that belongs to someone else. An item, their time, a change in their thinking, control over their actions. Envy is when you don't want someone to take possession of something or don't want them to continue having something they have earned. Usually, we think of this as someone begrudging another person their success. It's not merely wanting the success for yourself, but rather wanting the suffering that would accompany the loss of that success to the person. The pain is the purpose. Likewise, the guarding of garbage is not about the individual item. Like the stuffed animal discarded at the beginning of the episode, the people of this world place little value on things around them. Rather, it's the unfathomable idea that someone lower than them could be touching something that was once theirs. The wastefulness of the wealthy in this society is not merely that they abandon things or people, but rather that once something or someone has been abandoned, they still hold a psychological ownership of that thing, despite having deemed it to have no value, because its very emptiness becomes their new possession. We see the most powerful example of this kind of abandonment once Rudo has been accused of murdering his adoptive father and is about to be thrown into the pit. His friend Chiwa, who had stood by him up until this point, throws away the stuffed animal he gave her and denounces him. My feelings on this are mixed. I wonder if she truly feels the way that it looks on the screen, or whether she's doing this to secure her own safety. The way we see her shift from thinking Rudo wouldn't do bad things to being among the crowd and condemning him is rather shocking. Unless you're familiar with the workings of mob mentality. Even if an individual does not believe something, there is always a risk that if you get caught up in a group of people who are engaged in activities, you can be swept into them as well. Personal values and identity can take a temporary holiday, and the social pressure to conform to the behaviors of a group can alter a person drastically. We see this a lot on social media, or in the behaviors exhibited by people at large protests. And likewise, we are seeing the same unreasonable, burn the witch attitude in this scene. As for Chiwa, if she meant it, I hope she faces consequences for it, because that's real scumbag behavior. But if she did it to protect herself here, I hope that with time things can heal, and that her actions to secure her safety now don't bite her too hard on the butt going forward. It's easy to sit in my gaming chair and say she should have stood up right away, but I know enough about how stuff like this goes down in the real world to know that wouldn't necessarily be the smartest choice. As for Rudo, I was already mad these jerks were persecuting him for a crime he did not commit, which only makes me more angry when I consider the reality that they were likely looking for a means to do this. First off, because he's the son of a man who supposedly killed others and faced this fate, but also because he is an enemy of the authorities and they likely wanted a reason to be rid of him. Honestly, I wouldn't have put it past these people to send someone to kill Rudo's adoptive dad to give them an opportunity to pull this stunt. Remember, they're possessive of their garbage. In their eyes, that would include Rudo's fate. Unfortunately for these wastrels, Rudo has survived, and his adoptive dad, in his final words, gave Rudo a mission to make the world a better place. I'm pretty sure he and I both agree the world would be better without creeps like these that he just dealt with, chucking people away like they're pairs of dispensable contact lenses. But for the moment, the closing shot of the show makes it pretty clear that Rudo has a bigger problem to address right now. A dino the size of Sharptooth from The Land Before Time, but composed of stuff like it's some hulking, garbage-fueled version of a Katamari. It's one heck of a way to end an episode, and it definitely makes me eager to see what will happen next week. Although I found parts of this episode hard to get through, because of how they made me feel, Gachiakuta is off to a great start, and it definitely got my attention. Are you watching this show? What did you think of episode 1? I'd love to know, so feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll talk to you in the next video. See you later. Bye!